What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. Today, we're going to be talking about UFC 259, specifically Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. We're going to break this fight down for you and tell you everything you need to know going into Saturday's UFC event. All that and much more coming your way right now! Nick, UFC 259 is finally upon us. We are here. We are getting ready for it. And we have to start off with the main card. I'm super excited. This is quite literally, and I don't think this can be, debated, the best card in UFC history.
I think it's definitely up there. I think that you can make a strong case for it. And this card goes as deep as, halfway through the preliminary fights. It's stacked from top to bottom, and there isn't any fight on the main card you're going to want to miss out on. So I agree with you. I haven't been looking forward to a UFC event more than this one. It's going to be a big one, 3 title fights. We usually get this once in the summer, but now we're getting it in March. So nice surprise. I'm really excited for it.
Absolutely, and it's a nice reprieve after we saw the last UFC event, and you know what? I'm excited to jump right in here. So let's just break it down. We have Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling in the first of the 3 title fights that are going to headline this card. Nick, why don't you get us started with this fight? What are your expectations?
This is a fight that we've been waiting for a while now, and now that Petr Yan won the vacant title against Jose Aldo last year, we get to finally see Aljamain Sterling fight for the belt, and it's rightly so. Aljamain Sterling has been the number 1 contender in this division for a while now, and we thought that he should have been fighting for the vacant title. Now he finally gets his shot, and I think that we're going to see how good Aljamain Sterling is. He hasn't had too much top-tier competition so far in his career, but we saw last year against Corey Sandhagen just how good he is with that amazing rear naked choke, and we saw a couple weeks ago what Corey Sandhagen's all about. Now he'll be the guy looking for the belt next after this fight. But right now, Aljamain Sterling has earned the right to face Petr Yan for this belt, and I think that Petr Yan better watch out because he's going to get himself in some trouble. Right now, we're looking at a fight in Las Vegas with that 25-foot ring, and we all know that how fighters like to push people up against that cage and bring them down, especially if they're submission artists like Aljamain Sterling. I fully expect Aljamain Sterling to use all of his wrestling abilities, that black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and get Petr Yan down to the ground, work him, tire him out. He wants to take him out of his element. Petr Yan, as we know, is a Muay Thai fighter. He's known for his boxing abilities, and he's very foreign on the ground. He's not as comfortable as Aljamain Sterling. He's only a blue belt in BJJ, so I think that Aljamain Sterling is going to work his way up against that fence, bring him down to the ground, and then just be in his comfort zone. So I really expect Aljamain Sterling to have his way in this one. I really think it's going to be one-sided. I don't think Petr Yan's going to have a shot against Aljamain Sterling, and we're finally going to have the real champion at 135.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking as, somebody who's interested in this fight. Obviously, everybody knows, everybody who's been watching, you are our UFC guru here. But just taking a look at the tape on these two guys, there's just something that jumped off the screen to me about Petr Yan and the way he fights, the way he's able to attack his opponent and really just dominate the screen really jumped out at me. And you know what? I think as much as you believe that he should be on his toes with Aljamain Sterling's ability to bring him down to the ground, I also look at his ability to stay off the ground as something to watch out here for. Even though the smaller cage helps in this situation, I'm looking at his ability to possibly win on his feet. And we have seen time and time again that fighters come into a fight with a completely wrong game plan where they try to beat someone like the champion at their own game. And I hope Aljamain Sterling doesn't do that, because I like to see fighters going with their strengths. But right now, I have to give it to the champ. Right now, Petr Yan really just screams to me like he's going to win, and I think it's going to be by a knockout.
The only way, as you mentioned, the only way Aljamain Sterling loses this fight is if he tries to stand up and box with Petr Yan. If he tries to go into the fight thinking he can beat Petr Yan at his own game, he'll lose for sure. I agree with you there, but I think Aljamain Sterling, he's got some of the best coaches in the world. Matt Serra, Mark Henry, these guys are going to get him where he needs to be, and they already have. Aljamain Sterling has been fighting at a championship level for a couple of years now, and he's just been waiting for the opportunity. He never got the opportunity against Cejudo. He didn't get the opportunity last year against Petr Yan. He gets the opportunity now, and I think he's going to prove that he should have been here the entire time. Aljamain Sterling, to me, is by far the best 135-pounder in the world, and I think Petr Yan has the ability to be there one day, but right now I think his skills overall are just so far below Aljamain Sterling. I think Aljamain Sterling is just so much more well-rounded. He's not going to try to play into the games Petr Yan's going to bring.
So, I mean, just taking a look at this fight here, I mean, we have two of the best in the 135 division, and just looking at everything that they have to offer, I mean, there's a lot here, and obviously, Dana White put this card together knowing full well that we are going to have a slobber knocker of a final three fights on this card. Like I said, Petr Yan, he is going to do what he does best. He's going to try to stand up. He's going to try to bring the fight, bring it on his feet. And Aljamain Sterling, if he is being coached the right way, if you truly believe in his coaching and his game plan ability, he's going to try to wrestle him to the ground, which would then be in his favor. Nonetheless, no matter how it plays out, I am super excited for this fight, and I truly and honestly believe that this is going to end up being the fight of the night.
I think it has the potential to, if Petr Yan is able to work his takedown defense, if he is as good at takedown defense as some say he is. But like I said earlier, I think this is going to be lopsided. I would expect one of the other two title fights to be a bigger surprise for us than this one. I'm going to be taking Aljamain Sterling with a win via rear naked choke in the fourth round of this fight. I don't think it's going to go to decision. I think he's going to get the job done. I know you said earlier you think Petr Yan's going to win by knockout. This is going to either go one of two ways, and it's with two fighters who are so different from each other, you never know how these things are going to play out. But whether one is roped into the other's wheelhouse, it's going to be lopsided in either direction.
Right, and at the current point, just looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, these guys are actually tied. It is a complete toss-up at -110 apiece for odds to win this match. I mean, it really is just a crapshoot at this point. These guys are so gifted, so talented at what they do best, that it's going to be extremely difficult for these guys to walk into the other's wheelhouse and try to beat them that way. All right, well, that'll do it for now. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.